There wasn't even like roads, nothing, because it was 1790. Does anybody know why somebody would move here in 1790? Why would you move here from like Connecticut? Yep.
Farming land?
Nope, there's no farmland. It's all trees still. Any other guesses? Yep.
Expenses? Like it might be more expensive there?
A little bit, yes. So up in Connecticut, this family, the Humphreys, had a small farm. Land's expensive in Connecticut, right? There's lots of settlers. People have been living there since like the Pilgrims. But nobody lives out here, right? So Thomas Jefferson in 1790 offers, and the other presidents at the time and Congress tells people in New York that if they move to this area of New York through Buffalo, that they can have up to 50 acres of land for free if they can live on it for 5 years. That's a pretty good deal, right? Free land, 50 acres is a lot of land. Why would they want to give away free land in upstate New York, guys, by Buffalo? What war is coming up in 1812?
World War I.
World War I is 1900s. War of 1812, though. So we don't want Canada to take this area of our land yet. We don't quite have solid borders yet. So we're going to have people move here so that way Canada can't say, well, actually, this is our territory. So a lot of people move around out to this area, but not quite by the Humphreys. So they have to make their own clothing. They have to make their own soap. It's a lot of work. They have to cut down all of the trees and make farmland. And they don't make it 5 years. Unfortunately, there's a couple famines and a drought, and they actually end up having to move back up to Albany. So they end up losing the land. But that happens to a lot of people. If you look at like Laura Ingalls Wilder, if you ever read any of her books, her and Almanzo actually lose their land after they get sick. And one of the last books that they have, that's why they actually have to move again. So, because people would have been weaving, I am weaving here. When you're making your own clothing and your own cloth, like this skirt was woven here, you are limited by the width of your loom. So the big loom out there, right, it's very wide. So we're gonna use that one to make shirts because you need wide fabric, right, to make shirts. This one though is pretty narrow, so we're gonna make towels out of this one. So to do a loom, right, usually you think like you go up and down, right? I don't have to go up and down because I have a loom. So I just have to go back and forth and have my pedals do the up and down for me. So each of the pedals moves a different set of strings. And by pressing on the different patterns, I can make different patterns on my loom. So to get this tight weave here, I would go, so instead of going like every other one like I am currently, I would press these two on the outside. And then the two in the middle together. But there's all sorts of combinations, and you can have up to 6 petals on a loom. Looms are pretty popular in upstate New York until about 1830, when the first mill or loom factory opens in Massachusetts called the Lowell Mills. The Lowell Mills are mostly done by women, and it automates weaving. So all of a sudden people don't have to make their own cloth anymore. They can just go buy it from the store because we have factories that will make it for cheaper and quicker. Questions? Yes.
How long would it take to make a towel?
So I started down here at 10. So I'm actually going pretty quickly. And then earlier this week, when I was working on it, because I was only here 2 days, I got this much done. And so each of the ribbons is where we're going to cut it off to do another towel. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four towels for 2 days. Yep.
How would you like dye the
So you can go down to Kiefer to do it normally, but I think they're doing an activity today. So I would actually dye all of my wool before I would weave it. So after I get it off the sheep, after I card it, right, you know how carding wool works, I would, I think I actually have some in my basket. There we go. If you want, you can pass it around. It's carded dyed wool. It's purple because we would basically have 4 colors that we would get from nature that we could use. We'd get blue from indigo, which comes from India. We get red from cochineal, which comes from a type of bug that lives in the southwest. That's what makes the red coats red. We get yellow from a plant called madder, and we get brown from walnuts. And with yellow, red, blue, and brown, we can basically make any color. So to get purple, I mixed indigo dye with cochineal dye, and it gives me that nice purple. So then I will spin it using my spinning wheel, or I prefer to use a drop spindle. And when I'm spinning it, then I can turn it into thread to then turn it into cloth. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.